joining us. This is the main news in Camnet TV. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Government aims to introduce a supplementary budget to fund the new school curriculum. LUSAKA woman found with a case to answer over child stealing. LUSAKA City Council confirms the hike of a levy at CHELSTON market. In international news, South African president condemns Gaza crisis as genocidal, calls for ceasefire. And in sports news, FAS plans to open a coaching school. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Do join me with the details after this.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
And now the news in detail. Residents whose houses were flooded in Lusaka's Chawama due to diverted drainage have bemoaned the lack of agency by authorities in a matter that endangers life and properties. The affected residents have told Camnet News that they are now living in fear of a disaster with the rains that have started intensifying in the most parts of the city.
Early this week, short drainage works in Lusaka's Chawama compound left several houses flooded. Camnet TV News crew on Sunday, 17th December 2023, visited the area where it was discovered that the drainage that has been diverted at Cheshire Homes was abandoned, and after heavy rains of Saturday night and Sunday morning, it burst into houses. However, the lax response from the leadership in the area has concerned the residents, who fear that property and lives are in danger if the right thing is not done before the rains intensify.
Tandaulako drainage ina problem. Drainage muli ntambo ya malight. Ere futi kuno kuli bana bakagweramo olopina ngusibana olo mukulu akakolewa ngagweremo aza ingampaye. Chifika malight yali danger. Siyaseberesa. Please, drainage sifunika ukuya, ifunika kuside yawo. Batitandizirele manzi anatingenera maningi manyumba. Ndiye dandaula metiri nayo.
Another resident, Michael Jerem, says the efforts to engage the contractor and the area councillor have not yielded any result and want a quick response and solution to the problem.
I talked to the contractor. The contractor was nowhere to be seen, but later on the following day he called me to tell me to say he doesn't have the money to buy the culverts so that they come and cut here and put the culverts here. But up to now, the contractor did not contact me again from yesterday. So today, this morning, I was talking to a councillor from Ward 2, because the councillor for Ward 3 is nowhere to be seen up to now. He didn't even come to the scene where this problem happened. Up to now, we are not addressed. We are not addressed to say this drainage is going to, what is going to happen next is this and this. Up to now, we are still in dilemma. So the other day, we just helped ourselves by hiring someone to come and give us this system, this one load of rubbles, so that we block this water. So up to now, we are still waiting for the feedback. What are we going to do? Because this drainage was not supposed to be this side, this drainage was supposed to be that side. Because that's where the people, that's where the houses of people are there, and they are having floods there.
Mr. Jerry further says the drainage is being constructed where it has no impact, and even when completed, it will serve no purpose.
The drainage is of drainage. So we don't know why drainage inapitira kuno, because papatuka paja manzi yameacha wa kujona wadi as far as the bomola yonse yabwera kuno yabwera ya meeting ya party papatuka. So papatuka pali makauvetsi yawili yamene yalipo makauvetsi yaja makauvetsi yaja contractor vaenza fuko chita ni kufusula yaja makauvetsi yawili yaja so that manzi yapeze osta bwanji koenda. Then drainage ilipo kudala mine yenda state ipeleka kuchawama manzi haya. But manzi yapeze kuti drainage vaista divert kubwera kuno, then vaideta kuno basekula drainage iyi yamene ilibe kopeleka manzi, because olokamene yenda drainage huko. The other day people were complaining because manzi yapeze kati na kweve kuja na bangenera manzi futa again. So that's why we are complaining. I drainage ifika ichoke huku ibwele ukulima nyumba.
When contacted for a comment, Area Councillor Ponsirio Piri could not respond to this reporter as he was engaged. However, when reached out on Sunday, Mr. Piri promised to engage the contractor to ensure that the situation is avoided.
The reason why it has caused the area that side to be flooded is because they haven't put the carpets there. You know, when you do they do the carpets there, they need to make sure that they even work on the road. So I think this is something that we just have to urge the contractor to expedite, because as we receive more rains, I think our residents will be affected, as is the case today.
As things stand, the situation has not only left the residents in fear of property damage, but also waterborne diseases, among other disasters. For now, the residents can only hope that authorities, especially the area councillor, will intervene soon. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some residents of Chilenge Township have challenged the Lusaka City Council to be consistent in collecting garbage in all parts of the city to combat cholera. One of the residents, Exilda, tells Camnet TV News that garbage is among the major contributing factors to the increase of cholera cases being recorded in some parts of Lusaka. Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Public Relations Officer Chola Mwamba says the local authority has intensified garbage collection in cholera-prone areas such as Kanyama and Matero, among others.
Cholera, a bacterial disease that causes severe diarrhea and can kill one within hours if left untreated, is one of Zambia's annual outbreaks. From October 2023, a total number of 1,385 cases were recorded and a total of 36 deaths were recorded. As of Monday, December 18th, Zambia's cholera cases had risen to 2,404 from 2,270 in less than 24 hours, with 57 deaths recorded since the disease broke out in January countrywide. It is for this reason some residents of Lusaka's Chilenge Township are calling on Lusaka City Council to be consistent with their garbage collection in various areas of Lusaka. One of the residents spoken to by Camnet News, Ms. Exilda, says Lusaka City Council must heighten garbage collection as unattended to garbage is the main spreader of germs and bacteria causing cholera.
Tipempako kuba kanso makabeji aja bidoti viji bakazipitamo wakazipitenga every day then na kudoba vija vya matamuza abantu wena ngubalikere suta mabini pesa batata ya mulodi so bakanso bakankala maybe jabini yankala 1 week 1 month jani matenda yonse disease that's why cholera tima viliwana cholera but tipempako please bakanso makabeji aja madoti aja mabini aja bakazipitamo wakazibotenga every day ndeva mine vinga pangeko.
Another resident spoken to has encouraged the general public to take up personal hygiene precautions to protect themselves and their families against the cholera outbreak.
Keeping a clean manzi using a chlorine, ngaulipe chlorine ufunika kwa boiling. Na kukilina kwa toilet and not using tingatengema James ya cholera ndema metinga singizile mkolera osajja chimbala chokutufunika kujja chokujja chicho chiruomo osati chozizira chokujja chimbala chogona kunika kuti boiling nako ndipo kudya nga otherwise ngasula chiboineko kudwala diarrhea since diarrhea bwera kumukoli ileta njamne leta kolera diarrhea.
Meanwhile, Lusaka City Council Public Relations Officer Chola Mwaba says Lusaka City Council has intensified sensitization and garbage collection in cholera-prone areas.
We have embarked on a robust cholera response exercise in all hotspot areas across the city. We are doing this through our public health department. We are disinfecting places such as markets and bus stations, and also distributing chlorine, and also ensuring that we collect garbage in areas that have heaps of garbage. That includes historical waste. The local authority is working around the clock to ensure that further spread of cholera in hotspot areas of Kanyama, Chawama, George Compound, as well as Matero Compound are kept. Our public health educators are also on the ground to sensitize the masses on the issues to do with the prevention of cholera in the city.
Cherish Siwote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has confirmed the hike of levy charges from 220 kwacha to 800 kwacha at Lusaka's CHELSTON market. On Monday, shop owners at the facility complained over the increase in market levy by the city authority, claiming it is an attempt to grab their shops being engineered by the councillor. Council Assistant Public Relations Officer Bulamba Nyambe, however, says the hike is in response to shop owners who are subletting the shops and collecting renters even up to 1,500 kwacha. Mr. Nyambe says the move is to ensure that all the money goes to the council instead of individuals letting out the shops. In the following report.
The Lusaka City Council has confirmed hiking market levy charges at CHELSTON Market. On Monday, CHELSTON Market traders complained over the increase in market levy from 200 kwacha to 800 kwacha due to the move by the occupants to rent out the shops. The traders, who also claim ownership of the shops, also accused area councillor of initiating the hike in an attempt to grab the shops.
800 sitingayikwanisa 800 chabwera bwanji ati tinangena ife mu field umu ufufuza wapezeka kuti imwe mubera kanso.
The structures were handed back to the previous occupiers, the previous owners, but the compensation issue was brought down because the compensation was in lieu of the new shops which were built.
Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Nyambe Burumba Eva says the hike has not only been done at the market and is aimed at curtailing subletting of the shops by the occupiers.
Yes, I can confirm that Council has increased rentals at CHELSTON Market, and that is from 220 kwacha to somewhere 800 kwacha. And the increments differ from market to market, so I can tell you that the increments are not only for CHELSTON, but in almost all the markets. Now, this is a situation where these shops were rented to some people who then sub-rented them to other people, and they were charging them, for example, 2,500, and us we've chosen to charge now the people directly.
For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Julius Kachiza of Lusaka's Chongo district, who has been smoking tobacco for 18 years, has shared that quitting tobacco was not easy, but he did it for the sake of good health. Mr. Kachiza tells Camnet News that quitting tobacco is not easy, but that he managed to overcome the addiction through commitment given the negative attributes tobacco has to health. The World Health Organization estimates that more than 8 million people die prematurely yearly from tobacco use. More than 7 million of those deaths result from direct tobacco use. About 1.3 million are non-smokers who are dying because they are exposed to second-hand smoke.
Every year, tobacco kills 7,142 Zambians, causing the loss of 104,611 years of life. 60% of annual deaths from tobacco are among individuals under the age of 70. Just like beer drinking, quitting smoking is not an easy undertaking, but Julius Kachidza of Lusaka's Chongwe district is among the few who have managed to overcome the addiction through dedication to good health and well-being, as he explains.
So with regards to smoke, it's highly addictive. And you know, when something is addictive, it affects the human system. You know, so when the human system is addicted, it's difficult to come out. So it takes your whole being, you know.
After keeping up with the intoxicating sticks on his hands for 18 years, Mr. Kachidza chose to do away with the habit of smoking.
Tobacco, as you can see on the packages, it is harmful to health. So I would really not encourage people to smoke. I've got a number of friends, a number of maybe relatives who smoke. But I think as a good example, I smoked tobacco for about, for about 18 years or 20 years. But I think at the end of the day, by God's grace and just as personal commitment, I think I ended up smoking. It's over 20 years now that I stopped smoking. So tobacco is harmful. I think people should just give themselves, in mindset form, to just tell themselves that they can stop and they can manage.
It must be noted that 800 yearly deaths related to tobacco are due to second-hand smoke exposure, and Zambia's poorest and least educated are those most likely to consume tobacco. Mr. Kachidza attributes the problem to inadequate laws and poor implementation of existing ones.
It's more impactful, especially to those who smoke themselves. But it's unfortunate whereby it has got a secondary effect, to passive smokers, those who don't smoke. In Zambia, I think it's quite sad where our laws, I think our government passed a law where smoking was banned in public. But that law has not seen the day the light of day. It is just packed.
Zambia Alliance for Tobacco Control Secretary General Dr. Ted Mulenga says tobacco can lead to cancer-related diseases and infertility, among other consequences.
So these are the three major concerns of tobacco use. Namely, addiction. Secondly, causes cancer. Third, affects women's health and men's health, reproductive health. Three concerns.
Also has an influence on environment and on our economy. We have obviously the issue of the health harms of tobacco, but also the damage that it's doing to the environment, because there's so much pollution, okay? And one of which is really air pollution.
The major intervention to regulate the tobacco industry in Zambia is the long-awaited Tobacco Control Bill. And just like previous administrations, the United Party for National Development, UPND, has assured to enact the bill into law, but whether it will come to pass, for now, we can only wait and see. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The National Committee of the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation has called on the government to consider gazetting 29th December as a holiday to commemorate Zambia's declaration as a Christian nation. Committee member Mwaona Zulu says doing so will highlight the significance of the day to the country. Zambia was declared a Christian nation on 29th December 1991 by then President Frederick Chiluba.
It's an appeal that we are making for the government to gazette this day, because it's very, very important. If it's in the Constitution, then this day is very, very important. It defines who we are. Therefore, it's very, very important that the government comes in and also do its part, because as long as it is not gazetted, it's very easy for other religion to come in. When the other religions have done their evangelism, they go flat out in the nation, find that Christianity is removed. It's very, very cardinal for each and every Zambian, because it depends on what is happening. If the churches are not taking this day serious, if the pastors, if the Christians themselves, they don't take this day serious, then it means even the government, when it looks into it, they say, it's not important to them. But if they see that the church is serious, pastors are serious, Christians are serious, then it will be very, very easy for them to say, okay, we believe that this day truly is important for the nation, is important for the Christians, then let's gazette it. It's very, very disheartening to see that even at the political circle, other politicians shun away from Christianity, but they say they belong to churches. We are urging all the politicians to support this day.
Unknown people in Lusaka's Kawata's constituency are attempting to encroach on the land reserved for the expansion of Microsata Clinic in the Chalala area. A check at the land reserved for the construction of Microsata District Hospital found markings of plot demarcations said to have been carried out on Monday. One of the concerned residents, George Simwimba, has appealed to the government to intervene in the matter before lives are lost as different people continue to flock to the area, claiming there are 17 plots in the area.
Unknown people are attempting to demarcate Rufya Microsata Clinic land in Lusaka's Chala area into residential plots. This is despite the land in question being clearly marked reserved for construction of Microsata District Hospital. These are markings of plots drawn on Monday by one of the individuals who are frequenting the land with titles.
Land came from McKinney. So he was saying, no, this land, and he was even making some demarcation. He almost got some people, they started digging the foundation, but what we did is we approached him, then we asked him a lot of questions. And upon asking a lot of questions, then that's how he had gone. But
Mr. Simwimba, who is also a neighborhood health committee chairperson for the clinic, has pleaded with government to safeguard the land before the situation gets out of hand.
So we really need the government to intervene, because if the government doesn't come in, we will see bloodshed around here. So these people are just claiming to say this is their land and whatever. So they would sometimes come to the facility, and when they come to the facility, you find that we start exchanging words, bad words.
Area Councillor Ruben Mwenya, however, says there are residential plots at the area, but called on individuals to wait for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to give guidance on the matter.
Is that people cannot start putting up their structures before the boundary of the clinic is established. There are plots, legally plots that are there. It's just that the boundaries have not yet been established, and this is what I think we've told them, to wait for Ministry of Lands to be able to establish the boundary of the clinic. When that is done, then people can go ahead and start building. Of course, there's a part that was planned for the residential plots.
On Monday, Camnet News aired a story where some developers have encroached on land reserved for Section 3 clinic and the play park in Rwansha on the Copper Belt. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia has urged the government to introduce a supplementary budget in the first quarter of 2024 to fund the implementation of the 2023 curriculum framework. NACA's Executive Director, Aaron Chansa, notes that there was no adequate planning for the 2023 curriculum framework, hence funding needs to be allocated to the exercise. Speaking during the end-of-year press conference under the theme "More Needs to be Done" in Lusaka Tuesday morning, Mr. Chansa has also urged the government to increase funding for the construction of more female boarding schools in the country. He adds that it is unacceptable that girls have continued to learn under the weekly boarding arrangement, which is exposing them to illicit activities. Details in the following report.
I was talking about government failing to plan for the curriculum development for 2024 and 2025, and for government to successfully implement this curriculum, we are proposing that government must prepare a supplementary budget in the first quarter of 2024. There must be a supplementary budget to support this very important process. NACASE is worried that the country is allowing some young girls to go into what is called weekly boarding. And this is exposing most of them to a lot of early marriages and early pregnancies. And government can stop this by building more boarding schools in the rural areas.
The opposition Socialist Party youth leadership has urged the Lusaka City Council to find trading space for all the traders who have been displaced during the recent demolition exercises. Party youth spokesperson Stanley Mubasa says much as the council is trying to bring sanity to the city, there is a need to put a human face to its actions. In recent days, the Lusaka City Council has embarked on demolition suspected illegally erected makeshift stores around the city.
On Sunday, 17th December 2023, the Lusaka City Council demolished illegal makeshift stores in a latest operation near the place popularly known as Big Mosem. This came barely 2 weeks after the council demolished more than 100 makeshift structures at Kamwala near Universal Church. The move by the city fathers has received condemnation, especially that it comes at a time when Zambians are struggling to make ends meet amid the biting cost of living. Socialist Party youth spokesperson Stanley Mwasam is the latest to add his voice with a call on the local authority to find permanent trading spaces for all the affected traders.
We demand that the Lusaka City Council finds an alternative place and move these traders where they can trade peacefully, where they can trade without cadres, where they can trade in a dignified manner. There is no way they can continue to prioritize foreigners at the expense of Zambians. Zambians whose forefathers fought for independence to rule themselves, to govern themselves and live a decent life. Yes, foreign investments must be promoted, but not at the expense of Zambians. Zambians who have continued to languish even in the presence of the so-called foreign investment. We demand that these people whose merchandise were destroyed and whose resources, we are told some of them had their monies in those makeshifts, be compensated and be moved to a place where they can trade peacefully and be respected.
Mr. Mwasa further says the affected traders were only trying to feed their families and the council must play a major role in supplementing their efforts and not frustrate them.
We find it very disappointing that the Lusaka City Council, which is supposed to be an institution that provides a service to its traders, has turned into an animal that is now causing more pain and misery to the very people it's supposed to save. It is disappointing that the Lusaka City Council has continued on this path of creating more poverty and instead of helping create wealth among our people.
So far, hundreds of traders have been affected by the demolitions and still wait for what solutions will be provided by authorities, that being Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
That story leads us to a first set of commercials. I will be back with more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll now continue with more news. The LUSAKA magistrate has found a woman of LUSAKA alleged to have stolen a child under the age of 8 in 2022 with a case to answer. LUSAKA magistrate Constant Kasankala placed the accused on her defense after she determined that the prosecution had established their case against her. The accused is said to commence her defense in the matter on 3rd January 2024.
The LUSAKA Magistrate Court has found a woman alleged to have stolen a child of LUSAKA under the age of 8 years with a case to answer. The 22-year-old student from a named higher learning institution is facing 1 count of child stealing contrary to Section 171(1) of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Allegations are that the accused on 28 November 2022 in LUSAKA deprived the rightful owner of the child by illegally taking away the said child under the age of 8 years. But when the matter came up before LUSAKA magistrate Constance Kasankala, the accused was found with a case to answer and placed on her defense after the court determined that the prosecution established a case against the accused. However, according to a police statement, the 22-year-old accused was arrested on 15 January 2023 on allegations that she had stolen a child in order to sell the child for an alleged amount of 183 kwacha so that she could use the money to buy heroin. The police statement also discloses that the accused is alleged to have picked up the child from the custody of the parents and took the child to Chibolya, where she handed him over to an undisclosed man. The accused is therefore expected to open her defense in the matter she pleaded not guilty to on 3rd January 2023. During court proceedings, the victim was called to testify, but the matter was held in camera in accordance with the recently enacted Child Code Act. Trial continues in this matter. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A youth advocate, Michelo Chizombe, has asked the Constitutional Court to dismiss former President Edgar Lungu's notice of motion for the determination of questions of law arising from the petition. He argued that the petition was res judicata, or a matter already judged. In this matter, Chizombe wants a declaration that Mr. Lungu is not eligible to contest any future presidential elections.
A youth advocate, Michelo Chizombe, has requested the Constitutional Court to dismiss former President Edgar Lungu's notice of motion for the determination of questions of law arising from the petition. He contends that the petition is res judicata, or a matter already judged. Mr. Chizombe, who has cited the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ and Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha as respondents, wants the court to declare that Mr. Lungu's involvement in the August 2021 general elections was unconstitutional. In his notice of motion for determination of questions of law arising in the case, the former head of state questioned whether Mr. Chizombe's petition was already judged when the court pronounced itself on the same matter matter 3 times, but in an affidavit in opposition to Mr. Lungu's notice of motion, Chizombe explains that the notice of motion claiming res judicata in the matter is worth it. He submits that the court has not ruled on the issue which he is raising, adding that the Concord has jurisdiction on the matter. The youth advocate, however, clarifies that he is not seeking to nullify the outcome of the August 2021 general election, but for the court to engage in the deliberation of sections 2 and 7 of the Constitution of Zambia, Act No. 1 of 2016, as they relate to Article 35 of the Constitution of Zambia 1991 as amended in 1996. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Health Professions Council of Zambia is confident that the recruitment of 3,000 health workers by the Ministry of Health will improve and promote quality healthcare services for the general public. Council Public Relations Manager Terry Musonda urges the recruited health workers to have the right attitude towards work.
Recruiting the health workers in particular, this time we are talking about 3,000 workers. From a regulatory point of view, we believe that human resource for health is a very important ingredient in the provision and delivery of quality health services to the communities and to the public out there in general. So this is something which is commendable, and human resource is one of the greatest assets when it comes to quality of health services. And at the same time, we want to welcome and congratulate the new workers who have been taken up, who have been given yet the opportunity to acquit themselves. We want to believe that this is an opportunity which has been given to them, and they need to ensure that they acquit themselves. They need to prioritize the patient as they embark on their works. And they should not forget that among the hallmarks of health practice is the issue of knowledge, which they are already knowledgeable, which is a plus. At the same time, they have the competences, the skills, which are very critical in the service provision. And now this is the opportunity for them to go and practice, which is one of the 3 hallmarks of health practice.
Still to come in the news, FAS plans to open a coaching school. I will be back with the details as well as some international stories. Stay tuned.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now, in international news, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has strongly condemned the ongoing crisis in Gaza, describing it as a genocidal onslaught and slaughter of the people of Palestine. In a press statement, he drew parallels between the struggles faced by the Palestinians and those experienced by South Africans during their own tumultuous history. Ramaphosa continued asserting the gravity of the situation unfolding in Gaza. In response to the dire circumstances, President Ramaphosa called for an immediate ceasefire. He emphasized the urgency of halting what he perceives as a genocidal onslaught, expressing the collective responsibility to prevent further suffering. Here's a roundup of international news.
South African president has strongly condemned the ongoing crisis in Gaza, describing it as a slaughter of the people of Palestine. In a press conference, he drew parallels between the struggle faced by Palestinians and those experienced by South Africans during their own tumultuous history. Their solidarity has translated into concrete actions, including the recall of all South African diplomats from Israel.
As we have looked at the sufferings of the Palestinians, we have seen similar features of what the Palestinians are going through as what we as South Africans went through. And for that reason, that is why we have said that what is unfolding in Gaza is a genocidal onslaught and slaughter of the people of Palestine.
In response to the dire circumstances, President Ramaphosa called for an immediate ceasefire. He emphasized the urgency of halting what he perceived as a genocidal onslaught, expressing the collective responsibility to prevent further suffering.
But what is unfolding now in Gaza is beyond being unjust. It is genocidal, and that is why we are dubbing it as a genocide against a people and a collective punishment against innocent people. And it is for this reason that we have called for a ceasefire.
In a previous message, the South African government had issued a warning to its citizens involved or contemplating involvement in the conflict in Gaza.
The torrential rains that have recently fallen in Brazzaville have had serious consequences. Dozens of residents have lost their homes in landslides caused by the precipitations. In the Don Bosco district of the 9th arrondissement, north of the Congolese capital, the debris lying in this erosion is that of a Pentecostal church swept away in the landslide caused by rainwater. A few days ago, the faithful were still praying there. In the vicinity, several modest modern dwellings have also been destroyed, as explained by Joseph Banga. It just so happens that there have been 3 major rains which have caused disarray in the neighborhood, causing some people to flee. Behind me, some houses have been cleared as a precaution and the occupants have left. They can no longer live in the neighborhood. Right next door, there was a lady who owned a building with 14 tenants. It's been swallowed up. It's a loss of income for her. She had a house here. The other debris at the bottom of the ravine are shroods taken from the coffins in the graves of the old Itatolo cemetery. It's a scene that has left the local population bewildered, with fears of epidemics. We're in disarray. It's practically a disaster area. We've been left to our own devices. We don't have an appropriate laboratory to deal with epidemics. If the hygiene department could come and disinfect the area for us, that would be great, because there's a fear of sickness.
Le service d'hygiène peut venir nous désinfecter le secteur parce que crainte d'épidémie.
In desperation, local residents are building dikes from scratch to try and halt the progress of the erosion, but it's almost a lost cause. It hurts our hearts. We can't be happy because we don't know where to go. These houses are the few we've been able to get. Erosion is progressing and preventing us from living better. In this neighborhood, we have a serious problem with erosion washing away our houses. Many people have deserted the area. Among them are retired people. As we speak, we can't tell where they're going to go or whether they're going to become tenants again. As soon as the sky darkens, the bodies of those who are still holding out beat faster and faster. Their houses are 0 steps away from erosion and have a good chance of being destroyed. The rains have been falling relentlessly on Brazzaville since October. The skies are far from being kind again. The landslides that are sweeping away houses and graves in cemeteries are caused by the fragility of the soil and the lack of rainwater drainage systems.
L'Aude Martial, à Brazzaville pour Africa News.
Israeli troops operating in the Gaza Strip. On Monday, the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) released the footage as it faced calls for a ceasefire from some of its closest European allies. The war has flattened large parts of northern Gaza, killed thousands of civilians, and driven most of the population to the southern part of the besieged territory.
It's sometimes difficult to comprehend, difficult to fully fathom the lengths at which Hamas is willing to go in order to kill Israelis. They will use any and every tool at their disposal, whether it is a hospital, a mosque, a child's bedroom, or even their own civilians. This is Hamas. This is who we're dealing with. And at the same time, Hamas knows who they're dealing with. They know very well that the IDF is committed to international law and values. So Hamas goes to great lengths to use this against us. Hamas is weaponizing international law. Hamas is using our humanity to wage war.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to bring back the estimated 129 hostages still in captivity, while Hamas has said no more hostages will be released until the war ends.
The Football Association of Zambia says it has plans to open up a coaching schooling in order to train local coaches. First President Andrew Kamanga reviewed this when he officiated at the Zambia Football Coaches Association ZAFCA first ever physical fitness workshop in Lusaka. Mr. Kamanga says FAS through ZAFCA wants to encourage specialization in coaching. He says ZAFCA must take advantage of the various partnerships that FAS has to enhance the agenda. The 5-day training workshop has attracted 20 physical fitness coaches from various clubs.
I'm excited to be part of this historic event that has drawn football minds from across the country seeking to grow their knowledge base in coaching. I'm even more excited that some of the faces I see around this building comprise people that have given their lives to the game of football. One of the things that we are constantly investing in as an association is human resource and capacity building. We've invested so much effort in the last few months trying to upskill our coaches, both at the national team and others, who we believe can add value to the game. We did send Coach Masauso, Tembo and Ian Bakala to Morocco to pursue their CAF badges, while Mr. Wedson Nyirenda has just returned as he is pursuing his CAF Pro license. We have a long-term plan, not just to train coaches, but to open a coaching school. And this is why you will see that we've been engaging with ZAFCA so that we work closely. As far as our target is obviously to concentrate on regulation, but issues to do with coaching, we want to make sure that they are specialized through ZAFCA.
That's the reason that we brought this. It's for you to get the understanding and to get the skill that is needed in this area. Because when you have got the skill, that you are doing specific things at a specific time. And then when it is required, isn't it? Then you've got the skill. Isn't it? That's how we become skillful. So when you understand when to do it, when not, and when to offer them rest, then you have become an experienced physical trainer.
That's it for our main news tonight. Before I go, here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Government aids to introduce a supplementary budget to fund the new school curriculum. LUSAKA woman found with a case to answer over child stealing. LUSAKA City Council confirms the hike of a levy at CHELSTON Market. In international news, South African president condemns Gaza crisis as genocidal cause for ceasefire. And in sports news, FAS plans to open a coaching school. Our verse of the day is coming from the book of Isaiah 49, verse 13. Shout for joy, you heavens, rejoice, you earth. Burst into song, you mountains, for the Lord comforts his people and will have compassion on his afflicted ones. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you.